rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host Dirk God Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Dirk God Raven Mac. We back here in the abandoned concrete factory at the edge of town for week 6 of the Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday. Of course, there's been a ton of discourse about all that. But there are 27 competitors. You know how this works. They coming out and they building up points. You get a point for eliminating an opponent. They get bonus points for them final 4 spots. And actually tonight is week 6. So this is a 7-week series where they're trying to accumulate points so they can come out next week in reverse order. And tonight is going to be all people trying to stack some points. So I'll get to that in a minute. Right now, let's go to our primary sponsorship, Catbird Enterprises. Shout out to Catbird as always. Talked to Catbird before the show, went over, said, how's it going, Catbird? He said, feeling fine, number 9. And I was talking to him, and I was like, Catbird, world is crazy. It's been cold as hell. There's ice everywhere where we're at. I'm miserable. I ain't been warm in like a month and a half. My back is messed up. How you stay in such a good mood, Catbird? And Catbird looked at me. He said, Raven Mac, I keep it simple as a dimple. And he just smiled at me when it said it, and I love that. And I'm going to probably start saying that, keep it simple as a dimple, because, I got dimples, so that one applies to me. Secondary sponsor, we actually have a secondary sponsor this week. Secondary sponsor is my old lady. She Venmo'd me $20 so I could talk about her on the show. And here's the thing, like, my old lady is from a higher class than I was raised up around, so she actually don't even like to be called my old lady. But she is my old lady, and that's a term of endearment from the culture I'm from. Like, it's bigger than a girlfriend, it's less legally entangled than a wife. So really, my old lady is like the prime spot, because like wife creates legal entanglements. In fact, I got legal entanglements with my wife that I've already had in life, and girlfriend just ain't quite putting it at the right level. So shout out to my old lady. Although I do gotta say, my old lady used to give me more money when she was just my girlfriend. Like, she would have Venmo'd me like $120 back then to do something like this, and now I just get 20 because she's my old lady. I don't know, maybe my game ain't as tight as it used to be, I'm not sure. Anyways, let's look at the standings after 5 weeks. You can see at the top there, Mar-a-Lago Guest and Zoran Mamdani. Now, all these people on this page of the results, they're not going to be out here tonight. They've already qualified for next week's finale, so you can expect to see them, and they'll come out in reverse order. I expect Mamdani probably be last. We'll have to see. But they'll be out next week. This page of results, Luigi, the Blue Sky Communists, they won't be here tonight either. They're already qualified next week. But everybody else in that 7 to 1 point range, these are all people that may not have necessarily qualified for next week for sure, or they might want to be getting more points to get further up the standings. So all these people are going to be our 27 that come out here tonight. So let's go on up to the ring and let's see what happens when we look at this. And you can see our referees tonight are the police state and the lady cop. Neither one of them are involved in the action tonight. They'll be our referees. And Secretary of War Pete Hegseth coming out first. Of course, Secretary of War fighting I don't know what he's fighting, man. He acted like the military was too woke, even though couldn't no military kill people like the American military, even when they was allegedly woke. But Pete Hegseth coming out here. He's going to be the first man in the ring. He's not a smart man, but he certainly thinks he's a good-looking man. Coming out second, Ghislaine Maxwell, I'm sorry, I always mess up pronunciation. She actually was testified in Congress, or lack of testified in Congress, pleaded the fifth on everything, not going to sell nobody out. I saw a lot of people be upset about that, like she's not going to, turn on Trump or like they want them to. But honestly, man, if like your co-conspirator and all the stuff you did already been killed in jail, like Epstein, would you testify? Like I'd shut my mouth too. Like I just ride my time. And she's gonna get a more comfy situation. Might even get clemency from Trump if like she just shuts up. Like I don't know, man, why people think somebody's gonna all of a sudden do the right thing when they ain't done the right thing for decades. Like I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, Maxwell and Pete Hegseth going at it there. I'm sure Pete Hegseth has no problem beating on a woman. And yeah, he flips her down. But she's fighting back. Maxwell out there in that white bikini. Looking pretty good for her age. Hegseth climbing one of those ladders, those meritocracy myth ladders that we have. And here comes Clarence Thomas. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. He's coming out. And it's Black History Month. It seems fair to mention how blasphemous it is that Thurgood Marshall. And there's a pin. Pete Hegseth pinned by Ghislaine Maxwell. So Pete Hegseth is gone already. But it seems sort of insulting to the achievements of Thurgood Marshall that when he died, we got Clarence Thomas. Like, that's who replaced him. So, I don't even know, man. America is toast. It is toast. Anyways, Ghislaine Maxwell and Clarence Thomas, she's trying to pick Clarence up. She can't quite get him up. And she almost has him up, but not quite. And Clarence flips it and tosses her. So, Ghislaine Maxwell is out. She's gone. And coming out to take on Mr. Thomas is going to be Jasmine Crockett, Texas Congresswoman, Congressperson, Congressfolk. Jasmine Crockett, of course, she had some comments about Maxwell not testifying today. I like Jasmine Crockett, but she ain't never met a microphone that she don't want to talk into. I'd rather have somebody like her than Clarence Thomas, but I'd rather burn it all down, to be honest with you. I'm in a bad mood tonight, folks, but, hey, we're going to do this thing. We're going to get through this Rumble of the Discourse, week 6. Police state set up one of those meritocracy ladders. There are ladders around the ring that represent the meritocracy myth of American society. And I think there's a bunch of briefcases. Yeah, there's a bunch of briefcases around the ring. And here comes the alpha male influencer. He's coming out to join the other two, the alpha male influencer. Sexual predator, alpha male, taking all sorts of supplements, on gear as well. Thus, most likely sterile, but I guess that don't matter. And not a bad thing. The more of these alpha males that can be sterilized, the better. Jasmine Crockett over the top rope. Alpha male influencer didn't get her. Had a chance to take her out, but they both got back in. Hip toss. Clarence Thomas thrown into the ladder. Alpha male influencer beating on Jasmine Crockett. And we got a buzzer, and it's J.B. Pritzker. Governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, of course, billionaire from a very wealthy family. In fact, one of his cousins, uncle, second cousin of his father, I don't know what the hell that is, but one of the Pritzkers, very prominent in the Epstein emails. But JB is going to be the good billionaire. And there's a pin on Crockett. She kicks out. The only thing that saves us from a fascist government with an evil billionaire in charge is a good billionaire in charge of the fascist government. So Pritzker going to be getting pushed as a choice. He's got that all shucks down homesy appeal if you're not really paying attention and got your eyes squinted. About as down home as a crystal chandelier. And we got a buzzer, and it's the Midwest Governor Parade. Tim Walz coming out. Of course, Tim Walz doing the performative resistance to the ICE occupation. He's climbing that ladder out there outside the ring. I don't know what Tim is doing, but and then he falls and hurts himself. So Tim Walz, I don't know what the hell's going on with Tim Walz here. Looks like he's hurt his shoulder, and he's finally getting there in the ring. Goodness, man. So we got two governors in there. We got a Congress folk. We got a Supreme Court dude. And we got the alpha male influencer. Pritzker and Thomas staggered, and Thomas staggering from that stroke, and he's over the top rope and out. Clarence Thomas hurt by that slam, and here comes Gregory Bovino, the little mighty might of DHS, ICE, Border Patrol enforcement. Already run out of Minnesota, but he's still causing havoc wherever, and they haven't really slowed down what they're doing in Minnesota. But here he is, that little evil midget himself. Crockett and Walls going at it right now. And Walls got a headlock on her. Alpha male influencer just backslapped Bovino. Police state right there. See if she gives it up. She doesn't. And there's a double team move on the alpha male influencer by Pritzker and Bovino. We got a buzzer and coming out to join the melee. Hey, it's the immigrant. It's the immigrant Spanish speaker. He does speak some English. I was talking to him backstage, but primarily Spanish speaker. Had a lot of complaints about that halftime show because it was in Spanish. I don't know if folks realize English isn't the only language. Like, there is no official language. And, I work construction. Hell, man, I worked construction 30 years ago and learned Spanish working with immigrants back then, and that was 30 years ago. You should not be shocked about learning Spanish in 2026. Like, if you, mad about Spanish in America, you just being an asshole. Well, the immigrant kind of staggering over there. Pritzker, he back hits Pritzker. Walls going for a pin on Crockett. Out comes Pam Bondi. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Walls got a bat in there. Just nails Pritzker, it looked like. Little governing disagreement. Governorly. I don't know how to say it. The alpha male influencer over the top rope. He was climbing that, and it looked like Bondi gave him a little shove as he was going up, and he's out. So that alpha male influencer eliminated by a woman. You love to see it. Police state brings another ladder in the ring. We got two of them stacked on top of each other. And we get a buzzer, and coming out to join those in there is really not an FBI agent. So they're really not an FBI agent. Person that is actually not an FBI agent, but people think she is an FBI agent. They are. I don't know the gender. Sorry, I apologize. People think they are because of how they talk about protesting and activating and, OPSEC not necessarily being what you have to worry about all the time, which ain't wrong. Like, you just got to have people out there doing it, but not an FBI agent, but people think she is. And Tim Walsh just tossed Pam Bondi, so Pam Bondi is gone. And the immigrant, I didn't see what it looked like. Bovino pinned the immigrant in there, so the immigrant is gone. I'm sorry to see that, to be honest with you. I hope the immigrant can still make next week's finale. I like that guy. He's a good dude. And we got Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is out. Man, the class thing has never really stopped in America. And Tim Walz just got submitted by J.B. Pritzker, so Tim Walz is gone. Bernie Sanders class thing has never really not been an issue in America, but damn, man, he's got kind of tired of the shtick, to be honest. Like, 2016 was a decade ago, and he was old then. Sanders was an old dude back then when the Democrats screwed him out of possibly being the candidate because of their stay in proper line pyramid scam that they do for candidates. Bovino and Sanders were on that apron, but nobody got eliminated. And here comes Elon Musk. Elon Musk, of course, he was all up in the Epstein files. His brother, Kimball, in there even more. Basically, Elon with a cowboy hat. And the Burning Man Festival actually kicked Kimball Musk off of their board. So, a bunch of... the Burning Man people, I knew some people that did it back in the day that seemed okay, but, it's kind of turned into something else. Not exactly the most reputable group of people, but even they got rid of Kimball Musk. But Elon's out here doing his thing. Hopefully he doesn't get any points because I can't stand that guy. Jasmine Crockett locked up with J.B. Pritzker right now. And we get a buzzer of somebody else coming out. Bari Weiss, head of CBS News. Of course, one of the, they had a whole batch of people they appointed to CBS News that were, I guess they were big names of somebody. I don't really know none of them. But one of them had showed up in the Epstein files a lot, and Bari Weiss was fighting to keep him on the team because she wanted to fight cancel culture. Like, somehow that's cancel culture to have repercussions from hanging out with a convicted pedophile. But, hey, what do I know, man? I didn't go to an elite school, and I'm not connected to hyper wealthy crypto libertarians, so I don't really know a whole lot. I'm happy when my girlfriend gives me $20. Elon Musk got a pin on Jasmine Crockett over there, but Crockett kicks out, and we got a buzzer, and it's Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries, just absolutely useless. I'm sure he's got a book tour coming up again sometime soon. He comes out, and they're all standing around. Nobody's doing anything. That's a discourse. Elon Musk is trying to choke out Jasmine Crockett. Everybody falls down with the ladders. That not a Fed agent just got clotheslined by Hakeem. Bernie's holding his eyeball there. Oh, nice shot on Elon by Bernie. Fuck him up, Burn Dog. Fuck him up. Bari Weiss just nailed Jasmine Crockett with that chair. And we get a buzzer, and joining the crowd is Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer. Jeffries and Schumer back-to-back, the tag team of impotency. I was reading people saying the Democrats can't do anything. Why do they think they can? It's like, man, just be difficult. Be obstinate. Like, I got a big mattress behind my shed that's always in the way, and I can't move it. Like, that's what they should be like, an old king mattress that done got rained on for 9 months. Just be that. Keep it simple as a dimple, Chuck Schumer. So we got people cracking each other. There's 10 folks in there by my count, and there's a pin that not an FBI agent. Super slow count by the police state. And here comes the Proud Boy. I wonder if he's going to be collecting that bonus. And there's a pin. Chuck Schumer pinned Jasmine Crockett. So Jasmine Crockett eliminated by Chuck Schumer. The Proud Boy went for a pin on Elon. Pritzker over the top rope, but he's back in. Proud Boy in the corner. Man, there's a lot going on in here right now, and I can't really see it all. Elbow drop by Pritzker on that not an FBI agent. Musk and the Proud Boy going at it. Schumer's got Bari Weiss up, and then he drops her, but Elon gets the cover. So Elon gets the point on Bari Weiss, even though Schumer did the work. That's Elon for you. And coming out to join, folks, we got AOC. So here we go, AOC. Described as a left-wing agitator at a New York Times thing, and Bernie Sanders eliminates Chuck Schumer. So Schumer is gone. Sanders eliminates him. Bovino tossed by, I think, Musk over there in the corner. And now AOC pins Jeffries. So Jeffries is gone. So Bernie and AOC eliminate Schumer and Jeffries. That might be a step in the right direction. Let's see it happen. Of course it won't, because the Democrats are going to have a consultant talk them out of anything effective. Well, we get a buzzer. And it's the podcast grifter. So the podcast grifter, let me just try to reset the field here. It looks like we have 6, 7, 8 people out there right now. J.B. Pritzker is still out there. That really not an FBI agent out there. Gregory Bovino is still out there. Bernie Sanders, Elon Musk, the Proud Boy. Podcast grifter, of course, just came out, and AOC is still out there as well. Bernie with a pin on Bovino. Well, that little midget's gone. Bovino is eliminated. Bernie got rid of him. So Bernie's eliminated a couple people here tonight. I was talking trash on old Burn Dog, but he's representing. Well, now AOC going for a pin on Bernie, and he kicks out. Buzzers are coming out to join those still with us. Kristi Noem, head of DHS. Looked like she was about to get thrown under the bus a couple weeks back when they were openly murdering a second white person. America hates when white people get openly murdered. And it looked like Noem was going to lose it, but the hubbub has died down. The media frenzy is gone, and people are all happy about Bad Bunny and the symbolism of the halftime show on the giant corporate fascist nationalist super holiday of the Super Bowl. It's really the most liberal holiday there is, because you just watch commercials. Like, that's what you're trying to do, is watch commercials. I don't know, man. I hate this damn country. Well, coming out as pronouns. I do like pronouns. I got an English degree, first generation college student, so pronouns is, well, really not an FBI agent got pinned by the podcast grifter, it looked like. With an English degree, because that was pretty easy to get because I was born from a shit-talking family, and that's basically what you have to be able to do to get an English degree, is talk shit. And because of that, I enjoy pronouns. They're English, aren't they, Bob? They got pronouns in other languages, Bob? Talking about producer Bob Dabalina. I know they got pronouns in other languages. I'm just trying to piss off Bob. He knows I'm in a bad mood. He thinks I'm going to screw up tonight. And he might be right. I might screw up. Well, here comes Reply Guy from the south side of Facebookistan. A little upset with Reply Guy because I bought an old alarm clock 8-track player from him off Facebook Marketplace. And he said the 8-track player worked, but I can't get none of my 8-tracks to play on it. And I know some of these 8-tracks are in good shape, so I might have to have some words with Reply Guy after the show tonight. I like the alarm, but I'm a little bit mad. I wanted to have it set up to play my old 8-track tapes when I woke up. I should have known better than trust Reply Guy. Anyways, Reply Guy's out there. J.B. Pritzker's still out there. Kristi Noem and Bernie Sanders going at it. Pronouns just got kicked out by Reply Guy. Elon Musk going after him. And we get a buzzer. No, not J.D. Jefferson Davis Bowman Vance is out now, and of course he got booed at the Proud Boy just got tossed by Kristi Noem, it looked like, so Proud Boy's out. And Bernie Sanders, I didn't see what happened with Bernie there, but he's gone. Bob better check the replay, make sure we give the point to the right person. AOC struggling with that ladder. I don't quite know what she's doing. There's a pin on Pritzker, so Pritzker's gone. AOC still goofing off on that ladder, then she gets knocked and she's gone. Slow down, baby. We got too much going on. And then there's a pin on Vance. That's just a 2 count. I got to kind of figure out who's here. Well, Vance is still out there. We got a buzzer. Gavin Newsom, California Governor Gavin Newsom, of course, he's getting the early front-runner status for next presidential candidate. Reply Guy got pinned in there, so Reply Guy is gone. Elon Musk is bloody. J.D. Vance going after Gavin Newsom. Of course, J.D. Vance got booed at the Winter Olympics. You love to see it. Gavin Newsom considered a front-runner. Pronouns over the top rope. J.D. Vance out there with them. They're both, and they both get back in. It's hard to imagine a worse candidate or a worse presidential election than J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom. But you know what? Every time I say that, they somehow find a worse one to come up with. Probably going to end up being like Trump versus another Trump. And here comes the No Kings liberal. We retired calling him a shit lib out of respect for the liberal because I'm trying to be nice and not be an asshole, and I appreciate all the organizing, the more mainstream organizing. I mean, me personally, I kind of am from the Theodore Kaczynski Unabomber Manifesto school of activism where, maybe a couple IEDs strategically placed is probably the way to go. But, hey, man, you got to use all the tools in the toolbox, and the No Kings liberals out here getting your email address to invite you to a bunch of protests, and I appreciate that because, like, you can, after you protest in front of the Tesla dealer, you can go to the bakery that's right there, get you like a nice pastry. So, Christy Nome just got pinned or choked out. I don't know. I was too busy thinking about bakeries, to be honest. And we get a buzzer, and I think this is our next to last person. I'm not sure. J.D. Vance off the top rope. The not a Fed agent. So this is that not a Fed agent who is more questionable because it seems like they might actually be a Fed agent because they always tell you how they're not a Fed agent. And there's a pin, Gavin Newsom, pinned by J.D. Vance. So maybe that's a preview of 2028. But let's be honest, unless Trump dies, he's running for president. I don't even know if we'll have elections. Will we have elections by then? I read somewhere somebody said you can't say that. That's just too nihilistic. Like, how is that nihilistic? Like, we might not have elections. Like, we might not have them this summer or fall or whenever the hell we elect. Anyways, the 6 people out here that know King's liberal, Elon Musk, the podcast grifter, pronouns, not a Fed agent, J.D. Vance, and Ilhan Omar coming to join them, our last entrant tonight. You love to see it. I love Ilhan. And there's a pin. J.D. Vance had Elon only a 2 count, so this is our final 7. Top 4 of these are going to get those bonus points and probably make it deeper into next week. That not a Fed agent over the top rope. Elon's right over there. That not a Fed agent gets back in. Pronouns and Jasmine Crockett going at it across the ring. No King's liberal climbing that meritocracy ladder. Podcast grifter getting pinned by that not a Fed agent, but kicks out at 2. Suplex on Vance. Podcast grifter thrown on that ladder, and Elon going for the pin, and Elon eliminates that podcast grifter, so Elon eliminated somebody else. We're down to the final 6. I'd like to see Elon not get any bonus points. I don't want him coming out any later. He works enough algorithms. He doesn't need to work the Rumble of the Discourse as well. J.D. Vance and that not a Fed agent are locking up. Jasmine Crockett over there. The No King's liberal just knocked out the pronouns, and well, the No King's liberal eliminated pronouns. Not quite as liberal as I thought, I guess. I guess liberalism does not equal progressivism. Pronouns eliminated by the No King's liberal. Vance with a kick to Elon Musk. Drop kick, I mean. No, not a Fed agent with a drop kick. So we're down to 5. Next person eliminated will leave our final 4. Man, I was pulling for pronouns. And there's a pin on Ilhan. Vance tried to get a pile driver on No King's liberal, but couldn't get it. Elon staggering out there. He's going up that ladder and then falls off. No King's liberal gives him a kick. Ilhan and that liberal going at it. Elon looking worse for wear, and he just took a shot to the back of the head from the not a Fed agent, so Elon is gone. So Elon is eliminated, bloody, and doesn't get no bonus points. Ilhan's swinging that pipe, so we're down to 4. Our final 4 are going to get the bonus points. Vice President J.D. Vance, Minnesota Congress folk Ilhan Omar, that not a Fed agent, and that No King's liberal. And Ilhan and the liberal going at it. Nice move by Ilhan. That not a Fed agent beating on J.D. Vance. That pipe is in there, and the No King's liberal just hit the lady cop with that pipe. Is Vance busted open? I can't tell. Looks like he might be. No, he's okay. Ilhan punching the police state over there. Vance getting pinned by that not a Fed agent. Kicks out at 2. Fed agent got up like he had beat him, but it was only a 2. Ilhan down. No King's liberal going for the cover. Kick out at 2. Ilhan tossed by that not a Fed agent. No King's liberal going after J.D. Vance. These are our final four. All four of these will, I would say, I can't say for certain, but I would guess that all four of them are going to be in our final next week now with their bonus points tonight. Maybe with that, whoever finishes next might still be on the cusp, but I'm going to figure that all these guys are going to make the final next week. JD had a hold on No King's Liberal, but then got knocked, and Ilhan broke up the pin, but No King's Liberal goes back for the pin, and JD is eliminated. So JD is out fourth. He gets those 3 bonus points, so if he doesn't make the final, I won't cry any tears over that. So our final 3 here to No King's Liberal getting a 2 count and kick out. No King's Liberal, Not a Fed Agent, and Ilhan Omar. That's our final 3 here in week 6. One thing I noticed with the Discourse is folks don't really work together very well in our Rumble of the Discourse. It's every person for themselves, it seems like. They're not very unified. J.D. Vance still crawling on the floor there. And there's a pin on the Not a Fed Agent by the No King's Liberal. Only a 1 count. Roll up by Ilhan on that Liberal. Only a 1 count. Ilhan has been busted open. I believe that's the 2nd week in a row she's been busted open. She's a tough woman. Very tough. We will be finishing up the Rumble Winter Series next week, luckily before Ramadan. Ramadan starts in a couple weeks here, and I'm sure Ilhan's ability to participate, perhaps compromised by Ramadan. She slams that No King's Liberal going for the pin. That's 1. That's 2. And that's only 2. Kick out there. Good job by the Liberal to kick out. Now that Not a Fed Agent drops that Liberal right on her head. Oh. Probably could have went for the pin, but didn't. And there's a Russian leg sweep. Ilhan's got that mic and then kicked by that Not a Fed Agent. Over the top rope, Ilhan goes. She gets back in. She's back on that top rope. Nobody's close enough to her. She climbs down. The Liberal and the Not a Fed Agent going at it. She's got that cane, that Singapore cane, and nails the Not a Fed Agent. He's got that pipe. Lady Cop falls into one of the ladders. Ilhan comes off the ropes, but Not a Fed Agent misses. Nails her there. Backflip. Kick from the Liberal. Another backflip. Sort of hits Ilhan. They're kind of double teaming Ilhan, I think. Then that Not a Fed Agent takes a fall there. 3 of them. This one's going on. We've had these 3 in here for a while, and that Liberal's over the top rope. That Not a Fed Agent can eliminate her right here. He's giving her some shots. This is probably going to be it. Liberal's hanging on there on the apron, though. Now he's out there with her, and then comes back in and doesn't go for the finish. Moves over to Ilhan Omar instead. It seems a bit short-sighted. And there's a pin on that Fed Agent, just a 1 count. Ilhan and the Liberal going at it. Not a Fed Agent sort of staggering over on the other side. Police State climbing one of those ladders. Both of them nail Ilhan. Liberal trying to go for, got a pile driver on Ilhan. Going for the pin. That's probably going to be it, I would think. Oh, she kicks out. Ilhan kicks out at 2. I thought that pile driver would have been it. Not a Fed Agent on the top rope. So these 3 are hanging tough. Nobody giving it up yet. Going for them bonus points to be deeper into the cut next week on our finale. All 3 of them hurt. Nobody really. And now that Not a Fed Agent has a crossface hold on Ilhan briefly. Then Ilhan jumps on the Liberal. They're locking up again. Suplex. Who will win it? We're 35 minutes into this thing. Ilhan over the top rope. But again, that Not a Fed agent doesn't finish it up, but he flips her. And he goes for the pin. Slow count by the police state, just a 2 count. And he rolls up the Liberal, going for a pin there. Another slow count by the police state. I get the sense police state doesn't like that Not a Fed agent. Bulldog on the Liberal. Not a Fed agent going for the pin, and that's 2 count. Liberal kicks out. Another pile driver on Ilhan, and there's a cover by the Liberal, and that's got to be 3. There it is. So Ilhan took another pile driver from that No Kings Liberal. It's not much you could expect there. So our final 2 are this No Kings Liberal and the Not a Fed agent. They're both really beaten down now. Sort of staggering over there. That Not a Fed agent. Both of them are just beat up. Any one move is probably going to put one of them down. And the lady cop just threw the mic at the Fed agent, and then the Liberal covers. And that's a 2, and that's a 3. So the lady cop throws that microphone and nails the Not a Fed agent, and the Liberal takes the victory. So that's your winner tonight, that No Kings Liberal beating that Not a Fed agent not long after Ilhan Omar got eliminated. Let's look at this. So they're staggering, and either one of them, it looked like not much was going to take it, and the lady cop throws the microphone, nails the Not a Fed agent, and that Liberal goes for the cover and gets the win. Interesting finish there. So here's our results tonight. That No Kings Liberal, 14 points. Eliminated 4 people and got those 10 bonus points. Not a Fed agent with 8. Ilhan Omar and J.D. Vance both got 5. It means J.D. eliminated a couple people. Elon eliminated 4 people tonight. Pritzker eliminated 3. Bernie and AOC got 2 points each. Ghislaine Maxwell, Clarence Thomas, all those who got 1. I'm not sure where they'll end up, but let's go to the results and see. Let's see what our standings look like. So at the top, Zoran and Mar-a-Lago guest still at the top. No Kings Liberal has slid into that second place, so that means that she will come out 25th next week. Ice Goon, Marco Rubio, Minority Ice Goon, so Ice is going to be heavily present there at the end. Free Thinker, Antifa Mom got a whole cluster of people at 13 points. Stephen Miller at 11. That Not a Fed agent up to 10 points. Luigi, Ilhan Omar pulled even with the Immigrant and the Blue Sky Commie. Gavin Newsom, Bernie Sanders. I think our cutoff, 4 points. Is it 4 or 3, Bob? 3. So we'll have 1 3-pointer come out or 1 4-pointer. Well, we'll figure that next week. But Barry Weiss, Podcast Grifter, everybody 5 points or higher will be here in our finale next week. I think maybe the 4s and maybe 1 3 will be out as well. And then you can see these folks with 2 and 1. All these folks. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, we haven't seen him since that first week. Really not an FBI agent at Pam Bondi. Bavino, Schumer, Thomas, Hakeem Jeffries, Proud Boy, all these folks. Pronouns won't make it. Damn it. All these people will not be here next week because they did not get enough points to make our finale. So we will be back next week for our finale. As always, folks, this is sponsored by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. There is a link there in the description that take you to that. That supports everything I do, all my artistic endeavors. I just dropped a new book yesterday, actually. So that's part of what my supporters have supported. Yeah, I'm a poet. I'm an artist. I'm a guy who goes to an abandoned concrete factory and watches a rumble of the discourse and does commentary for you. I'm a guy with an old lady who gave me $20. I try to keep it simple as a dimple, but I unfortunately am not Catbird, man. I have a hard time keeping it simple as a dimple. I get a little too complicated in my own head. I need to dust the cobwebs out the corner of my head. In fact, let me get on out of here. Bob, thank you. My producer, Bob Dabalina. Thank you for watching the show. Please look at that Southern Gothic Futures Patreon. Think about supporting it. Next week, we can wrap this bad boy up for winter 2026. Our 7th week finale. We'll see who will be crowned champion of the discourse. I hope to see you back here next week. Glad you made it to the end. Salam.